The old guard WNBA players, the old guard WNBA, you know how they get. They had to look back. They had to harp on this clear non-issue. They made a whole lot of something over a whole bunch of nothing. And the WNBA...
That body language right there tells you everything you need to know. Angel Reese just tried to police Caitlin Clark's behavior during a USA basketball exhibition game, and the internet absolutely torched her for it. We're talking thousands of comments roasting this take in real time. But here's what makes this fascinating. Angel admitted she does the exact same thing Caitlin did. So why bring it up at all?
Yes. You guys know I would crash out on refs a lot. One thing Gino told us at USA Basketball, he said, listen, you guys are going to go out here and win gold for your country. He's like, you're not going to have all the endorsements like the men. And we didn't. But he said, you go out there and you win gold for your country anyway. And we were like, yeah, let's go win gold. They have that now. They will be on the Wheaties box. Caitlin, it probably was a bad call. But right now, you're going to be on the Wheaties box. Who cares if they miss one? You're wearing USA in your chest. It's a bigger stage. The whole world is watching. Kind of be like, okay. Give a little shrug. I'm like, I'm going to get this next one.
That is really...
Let's break down what Angel actually said, because this is where it gets messy. Her argument was that Caitlin shouldn't crash out on referees during USA basketball games because she's about to be on a Wheaties box. She's got major endorsements. The whole world is watching. Except there's three massive problems with that logic. First problem, Caitlin Clark already has more endorsement money than any player in WNBA history. She signed deals with Nike, State Farm, Gatorade, and Wilson before she even played a professional game. Her crashing out on refs hasn't hurt her wallet one bit. If anything, fans love that she shows emotion, so that entire argument collapses immediately. Second problem, Caitlin's already been on a cereal box. Multiple cereal boxes, actually. So Angel's acting like this is some future reward Caitlin needs to protect when she's already achieved it. The comment section caught that instantly.
Oh, let's take a look at some of the reactions, shall we? One, what does that have anything to do with her endorsements? She's killing it in endorsements. The most money of endorsements, even with her crash out. So whatever you said right there, null and void. Cereals box. Apparently she's already been on a cereal box. So whatever you said right there, null and void. The men have endorsements and... What are you talking about? What are you talking? If that's a crash out, man.
And here's the third problem, the one that really exposes the double standard. Watch the comment section's reaction here. They're pointing out that Angel Reese crashes out on referees constantly. She's picked up technical fouls throughout her rookie season for arguing calls. She's ejected herself from games. But when Angel does it, nobody questions her endorsements or tells her to tone it down for the cameras. The hypocrisy is what made people furious. Angel literally said, you guys know I would crash out on refs, in the same breath as criticizing Caitlin for doing it. That's not analysis. That's just looking for reasons to critique someone while admitting you do the exact same behavior.
What got you here? Saying, are you serious is incorrect, but Angel Reese receives another free pass for displaying an unsportsmanlike behavior and receiving a technical foul. Caitlin Clark haters are truly irrational. We're talking about this. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese just boom. Hey, it is what it is. I'm sure I'm going to get hit for that. I love how y'all highlight negative ass comments about Caitlin, but don't about any other player. There were moments that others crashed out during the Team USA qualifying games. Please stop with the fake ass media takes.
Now let's talk about what actually happened during that USA basketball game, because the incident itself was completely insignificant. Caitlin Clark disputed a call. She looked at the referee and said, "Are you serious?" That's it. No screaming, no technical foul, no ejection. The game continued, everyone moved on, and nobody thought about it again. Except the old guard WNBA players couldn't let it go. They had to manufacture controversy out of nothing. They had to turn a routine moment of player emotion into some kind of character referendum. And the timing matters here, because this happened during USA Basketball's Olympic qualifying games in February 2025. But Angel brought it back up months later on her podcast.
Crash out queen. Or they need a crash out jar. Ha ha. CC does it, and it's body language police, school shooter, or somehow privilege. Damn. Kind of looks like to me that Paige, Caitlin, and Kelsey were all in a mini crash out. Damn, tres leches in a mini crash out. The fact that people comment on CC's crash outs but no one else's, standard type shit. No, disputing a call is normal. What reflected poorly on USA Basketball is when Angel purposely pushed a player on the ground in some off-ball BS. She got called for a foul, but it was also unsportsmanlike conduct. Did these ladies...
The comments section didn't hold back. One person wrote, "What does that have anything to do with her endorsements? She's killing it in endorsements even with her crash outs." Another said, "If that's a crash out, the bar is on the floor." Someone else pointed out, "Anyone else crashes out, it's passion. Caitlyn does it and suddenly it's body language police." That last comment hits on something crucial. There's a documented pattern of Caitlyn Clark being held to different standards than other players. When Aja Wilson argues with refs, she's being competitive. When Brianna Stewart shows frustration, she's being a leader. But when Caitlyn disputes a call, suddenly it's unprofessional behavior that threatens her endorsements. The double standard is so obvious that even casual fans noticed it immediately. And that's what turned this into a viral moment, not because people care about referee disputes, but because it exposed the inconsistent way certain players get treated by WNBA veterans.
People are frying this take as they should, but me, I'm just laughing because I don't think she even knows what she's trying to say. Damn. What is the correlation between crashing out, endorsements, and whatever the fuck Gino told them about being gold? It's a bigger stage. The whole world is watching. Yeah, right. This is a great point. As if the whole world hasn't already been watching CC play and crash out. That's a great point. Everybody's already been watching this. This isn't some unknown league anymore.
Here's where Angel's argument completely falls apart. She claimed that because the whole world is watching USA Basketball, players need to regulate their emotions more carefully. But the whole world has been watching Caitlyn Clark since her junior year at Iowa. Her games averaged 2.5 million viewers during the 2024 NCAA tournament. Her WNBA debut drew 2.1 million viewers on ESPN, the most watched WNBA game in 23 years. So this idea that USA Basketball represents some new level of scrutiny for Caitlyn is absurd. She's been playing under massive viewership and media attention for 2 years straight. The pressure isn't new. The audience isn't new. What's new is Angel deciding to critique her for handling that pressure the same way she always has, with competitive fire and emotional investment in every call.
We've already seen them complain about back-to-backs. We've already seen them complain about the longevity of the season. Oh my gosh, you don't know what I do to play 44 games. And now we're gonna, oh my gosh, we're playing 52 games now. We need to get paid more money for 50. Oh, we don't get compensated fairly enough for the 52 games that we play. Stop.
Now let's shift gears and talk about the WNBA's schedule expansion, because this connects to a bigger pattern of complaints from players. The league just announced they're expanding from 44 games to 52 games per season, an 18% increase that will be implemented during the next collective bargaining agreement. And the reaction from players has already started. We've heard complaints about back-to-backs during the 40-game schedule. We've heard complaints about the 44-game schedule being too grueling. Angel Reese herself missed games during her rookie season and talked about how physically demanding the schedule was. So what happens when you add 8 more games?
You're getting compensated more than enough for your services. I don't want to hear the complaints about back-to-backs. I don't want to hear the complaints about the amount of games. I don't want to hear the complaints about travel. Charter flights are now going to be codified in the next agreement. I don't want to hear the complaints, but we're going to hear the complaints. The good thing here is adding games outlined in the CBA should be reflected in the compensation. Pretty sure last year the league added 4 games and players got because no CBA was up. Women's national basketball is eventually expanding to 52 games during this deal. That 52 games is the real win for the owners in the CBA. They said, oh, we're going to squeeze every dime we can get back. Sabaya was already complaining about back-to-back games with the 40-game schedule. What is 52 going to bring? The more we find out about this CBA, the more it looks like it's not such a great deal the players making it to be. All these extra games affect other leagues, plus they aren't getting paid more. One reason, expansion. It's true. More teams, you got to get more games. Pretty sure I saw something saying the 25 season had one of the highest totals of players' games lost to injury in a single season. Fans are, some are already complaining. Damn. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I appreciate all the support. It makes sense. You need 52 games, right? We're up in the salary cap. You're still getting revenue share. The players shouldn't even be mad about that, because the more revenue that the league makes, well, the bigger cut that revenue share is going to bring them. So let's say in a 44-game season, they only made, I forget what the number is. Let's say they only made $45,000 each, right? Something along that line. Well, if we expand it to 52 games.
Here's what makes the 52-game expansion significant. The WNBA just signed what they're calling a transformational media rights deal worth $2.2 billion over 11 years, starting in 2026. That's roughly $200 million per year, a massive increase from the previous deal that paid about $60 million annually. The players negotiated a revenue-sharing agreement where they'll receive 50% of league revenue after certain thresholds are met. So the owners want to maximize that new media money by adding more games. More games means more content for ESPN, Amazon Prime, and CBS. More content means higher rights fees in future negotiations. More revenue means the players' 50% share grows proportionally. In theory, everyone wins. But here's the reality check. The 2025 season saw one of the highest totals of games lost to injury in WNBA history. Breanna Stewart dealt with hamstring issues. Brittany Griner missed time with a toe injury. Cameron Brink tore her ACL. Angel Reese broke her wrist. The schedule is already breaking players' bodies, and the solution is to add more games? The owners are betting that increased revenue will offset player complaints about workload. They're betting that charter flights, which are now guaranteed for the entire season, will reduce travel fatigue enough to handle the extra games. They're betting that expanded rosters from 12 to potentially 14 players will provide enough depth to manage injuries. But the players are skeptical, and rightfully so. One comment from the transcript said it perfectly. They're already complaining about back-to-backs with 44 games. What's 52 going to bring? Another pointed out, they're getting paid more money for more work, but they aren't getting paid proportionally more. That second point is crucial. If the schedule increases by 18%, but player salaries only increase by 10% due to the revenue-sharing formula, then players are actually taking a pay cut per game. They're working more for less money per unit of work. That's not a win. That's the owners extracting maximum value while the new TV deal is hot. And let's talk about the international implications. Many WNBA players supplement their income by playing overseas during the off-season. Breanna Stewart makes more money playing in Turkey than she does in the WNBA. Aja Wilson played in Russia before the war. These international leagues pay top players $500,000 to $1.5 million for a season. If the WNBA season expands to 52 games, the off-season shrinks. That means less time to play overseas. Less time overseas means less supplemental income. For players outside the top tier who don't have major endorsement deals, that overseas money is critical. So even though WNBA salaries are increasing, the total annual income for many players might actually decrease because they lose international earning opportunities. The expansion also affects the new teams joining the league. Golden State is coming in 2025. Toronto and Portland are coming in 2026. Those expansion teams will create 36 new roster spots, which sounds great for player employment. But those teams will be terrible in their first few years, just like every expansion team in every sport. That means more blowout games, which means lower TV ratings for those matchups, which means the media partners might push back on the schedule expansion if viewership doesn't meet projections. And here's the thing that nobody's talking about publicly but everyone knows privately. The 52-game schedule only works if Caitlin Clark stays healthy. The Indiana Fever's 40 games in 2024 were the most-watched WNBA games of the season. 14 of the top 15 most-watched games featured Caitlin Clark. When she plays, ratings double or triple. When she doesn't play, ratings return to historical averages. So the entire financial model of this expansion, the entire justification for the $200 million annual media deal, depends on one player staying healthy and maintaining her popularity. That's an incredibly fragile foundation for league growth. If Caitlin gets injured, if her performance declines, if fans lose interest, the whole thing collapses. The owners know this. That's why they're rushing to expand the schedule now, while the Caitlin Clark effect is at its peak. They're trying to lock in maximum revenue before the bubble potentially bursts. It's smart business from their perspective, but it puts enormous pressure on the players to perform at an unsustainable level. So when Angel Reese criticizes Caitlin Clark for showing emotion during a meaningless exhibition game, when she suggests Caitlin needs to be more careful about her image, she's missing the bigger picture entirely. Caitlin's authenticity, her competitive fire, her willingness to show frustration, that's exactly what makes her marketable. That's what draws fans. That's what justifies the $200 million media deal that will increase everyone's salaries. The old guard WNBA players want Caitlin to conform to their standards of professionalism, But those standards are exactly why the league struggled for 25 years to gain mainstream attention. Fans don't want robotic athletes who never show emotion. They want real human beings who care deeply about winning. Caitlin Clark gives them that, and the league is finally benefiting financially. So should Angel Reese be criticizing Caitlin for crashing out on refs? Absolutely not. Should she be thanking Caitlin for making the league relevant enough to sign a transformational media deal? Probably. Will that happen? Based on this podcast clip, don't hold your breath. The divide between the old guard and the new generation of WNBA stars isn't going away. If anything, it's getting worse as the financial stakes increase. And moments like this, where veterans publicly critique rookies for behavior they themselves exhibit, just make the divide more obvious to fans who are watching closely. What do you think? Is Angel Reese right that Caitlin should tone down her emotions during USA basketball games? Or is this just another example of the double standard that follows Caitlin everywhere she goes? Drop your take in the comments because this conversation is far from over. And if you want more WNBA analysis that actually breaks down what's happening behind the scenes, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started.